The call came at 2:14 a.m. Sydney time. I was still awake. Jet lag does that. It keeps you alert, sharp, suspended between realities. The hotel room was dark, except for the city bleeding through the curtains. Glass, steel, distance. Her name lit up my screen. I didn't answer. I let it ring until silence reclaims the room. Then it rang again. And again. By the fourth call, something inside me shifted. Not panic, not fear. Confirmation. I answered on the seventh. Her voice broke before she could speak properly. "Where are you?" she whispered, like the walls were listening. I stared at the ceiling, counting my breaths. 1, 2, slow, measured. "You already know," I said. A sound escaped her throat. Not a word. A crack. "I came home," she said. "He's gone. She's gone. His phone's off." She inhaled sharply. "Please, tell me you didn't do something." I closed my eyes. I remembered her standing in the kitchen 3 weeks earlier, arms folded, face calm, cruel in its certainty. "I'm taking her to her real father. You're just the stand-in. Deal with it, or file for divorce." I hadn't argued. I had smiled. On the call, she was unraveling. My thread. "No," I said. Finally, "I didn't do anything." That was the most honest thing I'd said to her in years. People think betrayal announces itself loudly. It doesn't. It seeps. It's the way a child stops calling you dad and starts hesitating. The way your wife corrects her stories mid-sentence. The way a man's name appears too often, then disappears entirely. Her ex-husband had always been a shadow. A story she edited depending on the audience. Irresponsible. Absent. Barely involved. Yet suddenly, he was everywhere. Photos on her phone she didn't show me. Calls she took outside. A softness in her voice when she said his name, like muscle memory waking up. Then came Christmas. "We're spending it with him," she said. "Not we. They." I asked why. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "She deserves her real father," she said. Then the knife twist. "And you deserve the truth." I waited for the rest. It didn't come. That night, I lay beside her, listening to her breathe, replaying years in reverse. First steps I'd clapped for. School fees I'd paid. Hospital nights I'd slept through on plastic chairs. Stand in. The words settled into me like a diagnosis. By morning, I knew 2 things with absolute clarity. She wasn't just leaving for the holidays. And I wasn't going to stop her. I took the Australia transfer before my coffee cooled. The one I'd refused for years because family comes first. She didn't ask why I changed my mind. She was too busy packing. While she was gone, I stayed calm. Surgical. I requested documents. Old ones. Birth records. Hospital files. I hired someone who didn't ask moral questions, only logistical ones. I pulled phone logs, not messages. Metadata is more honest than words. Patterns don't lie when people do. I watched dates align like constellations. Conception windows. Reunions she'd called coincidences. Trips she'd said were for closure. At night, alone, the rage came. Not explosive. Focused. I replayed every moment I'd ignored the discomfort because love felt easier than suspicion. I interrogated my own memories like hostile witnesses. Still, no confrontation. Not yet. I wanted certainty. Not for revenge. For precision. When the DNA kit arrived, I didn't flinch. I had already mourned the answer. I sent it off. Then I left the country. Distance sharpened everything. From Sydney, the betrayal looked smaller, but clearer. Like a wound you can finally see once the blood stops pouring. When the results email came, I read it once, then again. Then I deleted it. I didn't need the file anymore. The truth had already rewritten me. She came back early. Alone. That was the first fracture. The second was her face when she saw the empty house. My clothes gone. My photos missing. Even the family portraits. Removed with care, not anger. She waited 3 hours before calling. I answered on the first ring this time. We met the next day. Public place. Glass walls. Neutral ground. She looked smaller. Eyes swollen. Hands restless. "Say something," she pleaded.
I slid an envelope across the table. No speech, no accusation, just paper. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. She read, stopped, read again. Her breath hitched. This isn't real. I watched her carefully. No satisfaction, just observation. You knew, she whispered. You always knew. I nodded once. She reached for my hand. I moved it away, not sharply, precisely. She's not yours, she said, crying now. But you're still her father. I leaned in, just enough. No, I said. I was your insurance policy.
The words landed hard, final. I didn't take her to court. I didn't scream. I didn't expose her publicly. I did something worse. I withdrew. The transfer? Permanent. The house? Sold. Quietly. The accounts? Separated months ago. The school fees? Canceled. Legally. Cleanly. Her ex-husband vanished the moment responsibility resurfaced. The fantasy collapsed under the weight of reality. She was left explaining truths she'd buried for years, to her daughter, to her family, to herself. She showed up once more, at night, at my door. I made a mistake, she said. I believed her. Mistakes are still choices. I gave you everything, she said. I shook my head. No, I replied. You rented me. I closed the door gently. Locks don't need to slam to be permanent. From Australia, I watched my old life dissolve like something that had only ever existed in fog. I don't hate her. Hate requires attachment. What I feel is cleaner. Clarity. I loved a role, not a truth. I raised a child who was never meant to stay. I built a life on borrowed loyalty. And when the truth came, I didn't fight it. I stepped aside. Some men break when they're replaced. Others realize they were never meant to be permanent, only useful. I don't wait for her calls anymore. I don't check. I've already answered the only question that mattered. And the silence? It fits me perfectly now.